Jerusalem born, but Babylon raised. My father never played no game, so I changed my ways. Making sure I was upright repeatedly. Then all of a sudden my life changed immediately. Never envisioned living a life full of lust and sin in it. So I made a decision and started from the beginning. I keep my mind on a mission, I'm a prophet. So my job is to warn all the wicked, they can't stop it. Yo, keep commandments and you'll live, never thirst again. That living water he will give, it takes discipline. So we don't die no more, don't cry no more. Look up at the sky no more, don't sigh no more. Christ is coming to deliver me, he gon' set us free. I'm tired of slaving in this misery. Counted the cost long time ago. I'm just waiting for the Lord to say it's time to go. Let's work. The only hope is in these laws, so we don't fall. We be here keeping commandments, man.
So I have a question. I was also told that women have to wear
We're going to get that for you. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
So the head of men, this is the order of the Most High God. This is how he set up order on earth.
And the head of the woman is the man.
So the head of the woman is man.
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. So that's the natural order that the Most High God set up for us on earth.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
So if a man was out here teaching with our head covered, we would be dishonoring our head, which is Christ, the Most High. So read.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, dishonored her head.
So that's the reason why you're supposed to have your head covered, because you're showing honor to your head, which is me. So do you understand that?
I'm not trying to say like they're people like men, but is that kind of how the order
The woman is under the man. It's not no 50-50. It's not no equal. We're equal. The woman is supposed to serve her husband.
That's right.
She's under the man, because that's her head. That's the order of the Most High God. God set that order, not the man. Let me show you. Let me show you the scripture.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 9, or verse 8. For the man is not of the woman.
So we're not of the woman,
but the woman of the man.
So you're of the man.
Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man.
So you was created for the man, to serve the man.
The woman?
So you're familiar with Adam and Eve, right?
I mean, I understand that.
Okay, so Adam was created first, and then Eve.
Right.
You know?
But the woman of the man.
So the woman came from Adam. That's what woman is, of man.
I mean, I understand that. I mean,
You know?
Neither was the man created for the woman.
Because man was not created, Adam was not created to help Eve. Eve was created to help Adam. I got you, you know?
But the woman for the man.
Right. The woman was created to be an assistant, to be a help, to be a companion to us.
right.
Okay. Hold on.
5,000 years of evolution that I'll explain for him. You know who was creating them? The fucking aliens did.
That's an idiot. Anyway.
The aliens did.
What's your question, sir?
I'm just saying it just seems like it's like you know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to just like now that's a man type thing, and then kind of like
Okay, so read on. That's the thought I thought you would do. So that's why I wanted to read on. Read that. Read on.
For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels.
So the angels is referring to the messengers, which are the men of God. When you cover your head to show respect for your husband, just like we uncover our head to show respect to Christ. Now read on.
Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman.
So although, hold up, give me hold this, chapter 14, verse 40.
1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40.
Read that.
Let all things be done decently and in order.
See, God is a God of order. Because without order, there's what? Chaos. You don't just leave your children to do whatever the hell they want to do, you have to give them instructions. You have to say, how many children do you have? You have two. You have an oldest and a youngest, right? So you give the oldest responsibilities over the youngest so that there's order in the house, so that things don't just go awry, right? So God is the same way. He set the nations in order, but he set our households in order. Can we supersede Christ? Can Christ supersede God? So why? Because there's order there. Same way. It's the Most High, Christ, man, woman. Not for oppression's sake, but for order's sake. Now go back to what you had.
Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman.
So yes, there's order in the household, but the man is not without the woman.
Neither the woman without the man.
But the woman is not without the man either. You know,
In the Lord.
in the Lord. So what? So although there's order there, that doesn't mean that my wife has to bow down and kiss my feet. I rub her feet. That's my wife, right? I rub her back. If she needs things, I provide. But there's order. There's and that creates stability. When you go to your job, you don't go, hey, I don't feel like working today. Matter of fact, I run stuff here today. No, everybody in the job has to fall in order. There's a CEO, there's a CFO, there's a regional manager, there's a state manager, there's a site manager, there's the supervisors, then there's a sub-supervisor. Why? Not because anybody has to bow down and kiss someone's feet or kiss someone's behind, but to create order, to create stability, you need that order. Same thing in the household. My daughters can learn how to respect not only one another, but respect fellow men. Why? Because we create order in the household.
That's right.
And that creates order in the nation. Then we can be a stable people. But because, you know who taught us that division? I'm going to show you something. Where's the bag? Give me the Willie Lynching. In the bag. Because I know it sounds foreign to you now, but it was always like that with us. But now when we speak to our sisters, even when we speak, you know how many men want to sit at home and lay up under their women? Men don't want to provide now. They want to be taken care of by the woman. And they don't want to take care of their women. It's backwards. Let me show you. Now, hold this up. This is called the Willie Lynch letter. A lot of people are familiar with this, right? This was a white slave master, and I believe he was in the Caribbean islands, that was training his slaves. He came to the Americas because, and here in the Americas, we was rioting, we was revolting, we was burning down the slave master houses, we was running away, we was doing all of that. We didn't want to be slaves. Right. So in order because to the so-called white man, we were property. So in order to keep their property stable, they needed to train us. So Willie Lynch came up with this theory, came up with these ideas, with these strategies to train us. This is what he said. So right there.
We have reversed the relationships.
So one of the ways that the so-called white man has kept us under control for so long is that they reversed the relationship between who? Man and women. Now you got teenage boys, college student men that are looking for women to buy them shoes, buy them clothes, do for them. When 40 years ago, the woman was staying home and we was taking care of our family. We was breaking our backs to provide for them. But this has been ingrained in us. They reversed our relationships, you know.
In her natural, uncivilized state.
So the white man says, in your natural, meaning your God-given state, your God-given mind, read,
she would have a strong dependency on her uncivilized nigger male.
So in your natural state, in your God-given state, the woman is supposed to be dependent on the man. And I apologize if I'm getting graphic, but when a woman loses her virginity to a man, she has that strong urge, she has that strong mind, that strong emotional connection to that man forever. That's how it's always supposed to be. Why? You're supposed to be dependent upon your man, upon your protector. He was created. We are physically created to be stronger, to be able to protect you. Look at the animal kingdom, right? The men are big and brolic, so that what? So that they can protect, so that they can provide. The women are created naturally smaller, so that not feeble, not weaker, but naturally smaller and more docile and submissive. They all have their order in their role. Read on.
And she would have a limited protective tendency towards her independent male offspring.
So it says that in your natural mind, in your God-given mind, the white man understood that you were supposed to rely on your husband and that you would have a limited protectiveness over your boy. The internet calling their young boys their Valentines. they boyfriends, they little husband, they boss.
Would raise the female offspring to be dependent like her.
And she would raise the female offspring to what? Be dependent like her. Because that's the natural order of things. Women follow men. Read on.
Raise the female offspring to be dependent like her. Nature had provided for this type of balance.
He said nature. What he means is God. God provided for that kind of balance.
That's right.
That's what we just read in the Bible. The woman is not of the man, but the man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man. Because there is order. Read on.
We reverse nature by burning.
Hold on. So, in order to keep us under control, us mentally unstable, the white man had to reverse our roles. Read on.
We reverse nature by burning and pulling.
Hold on.
One civilized nigger.
Hold on. So right here at 5.
By her being left alone.
So, because they drove the man out of the house. They drove the man insane. That's why men don't want to even stay with their women no more. They drove us out of the house. They make us think that being with one woman, something's wrong with us. How could you want to stay with her? You want to do that for the rest of your life? They make it seem like it's strange to be married them. They reverse the roles in relationships. They've driven the man and the woman apart. White people get married. Chinese people get married. Indian people get married and stay together. Blacks and Hispanics, we don't do that. Why? Because we are subject to mental slavery. And now the woman is unprotected, you know?
With the male image destroyed.
And they destroyed the male image. Every black man you see on television is gay or a thug. That's it. There's no black doctors. Even though there's black doctors, they don't show them on TV. Even though there's black doctors, they don't show them on TV. There's black lawyers, they don't show them on TV. There's black entrepreneurs, they don't show them on TV. There's only two types of black men that they show. Homosexuals and thugs. And neither one of them can build a nation.
Right.
So they destroyed the black and Hispanic man's image, period. And they perpetuate. That's why they got their new show, Empire, whatever the case is. And what do? Show black men kissing each other. And they show another, and the main black man, they show him crippled and can't subconsciously have a problem submitting to the man. If you had a man that was going to feed you, provide for you, protect you, keep you safe, keep you mentally stimulated, spiritually stimulated, you would have no problem sitting at home, caring for your house, caring for your children, and making sure that he's all right. But because you feel like you got to be the strong, independent, I got to do for me and my family, black woman, it's foreign to you now. Because it started from slavery. Our people like to forget slavery, but the condition that you're in, the mental faculties that you now have, is because of slavery. Unprotected,
with the male image destroyed,
with your kings and your princes destroyed, you know.
The ordeal caused her to move from her.
Hold on, the what?
The ordeal.
The ordeal of slavery and mental destruction did what?
Caused her to move from her psychological dependent state.
Hold on. So it caused you to move from your reliance on the black man, on the Latin man. You no longer are relying upon him to what?
To a frozen independent
So
state.
what?
Independent state.
How many women are making songs about how independent they are and don't realize that's the subject of slavery?
Right.
They destroyed your family on purpose. You got all these women singing, I'm an independent this, I don't need no man. So what? You can't have no kids without no man.
Right.
You can't build no nation without. A woman cannot raise men. You have to have men raise men. You can do your best, but they're going to be grown little boys until they find males to look up to. That's nature. A cub does not grow into a lion unless he's around lions to learn how to be a lion. God provided for this kind of balance. But because the enemies, like we read in the Bible, destroyed us, these things are now foreign to us. Is that all we got? Yeah, read on. I want the rest of it. Read on.
Independence. She will raise her male and female offspring in reverse roles.
And so now our women raise our children in reverse roles. You got soft little boys and hard little girls. True or false? Not to say your children per se, but as a nation, look at our people. We don't just deal with, as a nation, we got soft little boys and we got hard little girls. That's why you got little girls playing football now. You got little boys who want to be on the damn cheer. What's that little boy you want, My Little Princess? It's madness. Little boy princess. Look it up. Read on.
For fear of the young male's life.
So listen to this. It says, for fear of the young man's life. Because you don't want your son to get shot. You don't want him to get beat up. You don't want him to get arrested. You don't want him to get thrown in jail. You don't want him to get strung out. So you're in fear of the young man's life. Read on.
She will psychologically train him.
Now, you don't realize you're doing this, but psychologically, you train that little boy to do what?
To be mentally weak.
To be mentally weak. He don't know how to be a man. He don't know how to be strong. He don't know how to step up to the plate. You know?
Independent, but physically strong.
But he's physically strong. That's why everybody want to do what? Rap or go play basketball. We've raised our young men to be mentally weak. Not accountants, not inventors, not scientists, not mathematicians. We raise them to be thugs or basketball players.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.